another episode of the Philosophy Podcast. I am your host, Controversy, and to my right, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, none other than Mr.
Darren Love.
And together, we are the Philosophy Podcast. Thank you to you guys for tuning in to a brand new episode. Thank you for tuning in once again this week, guys. And like we always say, what is on the agenda for this week, mate? What is today's
hot topic?
What is it, mate?
I thought we were talking about money today.
Money?
Give me some.
Huh? Show me the money!
Yeah.
So this week, we're talking all about
Money.
money. Mucho dinero. Pesos.
Now I can drink my drink.
Rupees. Dollars. Pounds and euros.
Money.
Money.
Makes me.
So what are your thoughts and what are your opinions on the money, mate?
Well, it's a subject worth talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's a subject worth talking about.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
I don't think it does make you. I don't think it makes everyone happy.
Yeah.
You know, I think it just depends on your own happiness, really. You know, like if you know how to be happy.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I feel like, personally, after all these years, you know, I kind of like understanding happiness a little bit, if you sort of mean. I don't think everybody knows how to be happy in life anyway. And I think it's just a matter of becoming a bit wiser, a bit more mature, and understanding and learning how to be happy in life. And I feel like if you are happy, which I personally feel like I am today, yeah, and I feel like in the next few years I should get happier, really, you know, because I'm still learning in life, do you know what I mean? You know,
yeah.
And going forward in life.
Yeah.
And well, hopefully I want to come into a bit more money, because I've always been struggling, to be honest with you, you know, all my life. You know, I'm nearly 60 years of age now, right? And as I've said in previous episodes, I've been married, had a few families and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And times have been difficult for me, and I you know, let's put it this way, every week that goes by I've struggled to pay the bills or get myself back on my feet. You know?
Yeah.
And I just feel like if I come into some money right now or tomorrow, it would boost my happiness up a lot, you know, because I feel like I could, one, for instance, buy the home I rent today.
Yeah.
You know, and so
make it your own.
and then I can have more time for others, I feel, do you know what I mean? You know, and I just feel like everybody, it depends on your personality, really, on how you spend your money, you know. And I feel like money can be a very, very dangerous thing to yourself and other people, you know, if it's put in the wrong hands.
Wrong hands, yeah.
You know, it's no good if you're an alcoholic and you come into a lot of money, basically, because what you're going to do, buy more drink, if you sort of mean. So, you know, it can do a lot of damage to yourself, if you sort of mean.
Can destroy some people.
It does, doesn't it?
Can be that.
The truth is, it does. You know,
Yeah.
some people actually, they come into money and they can commit suicide or something, and life's not going their way anymore.
Yeah, it becomes their downfall, doesn't it? It's
Yeah. So, you know, we're living in, you know, we don't have to live in.
You got people today who are so heavily in debt they end up doing things to themselves because of it. They can't handle the pressure, the financial pressure. You know, you've got people that are in debt up to their eyeballs. You know, people knocking on their door every other day trying to collect something from them. You know, threatening to evict them or whatever. You know.
It causes a lot of nastiness, doesn't it? Really, money. You know, like some people fall out over £10.
I know. Yeah.
Or families do. You know, they don't talk for years because of it. You know, because of something very little with money.
Well, I'll tell you what, right, mate. I've seen when I was growing up. Yeah, I was very young. I remember I was still living in the Caribbean at the time, and I was at a shop one day. This little shop that was in the little village that I was living in. Well, not village, but where I was living at the time. Let's say there was a little shop, and they used to have like a pool table. And sometimes after school, like if my mum was still at work or whatever, and like I got home and like no one was at home, like I used to say to my mum, you know, say, okay, we're going to play a little pool for a couple of hours till you guys get back, kind of thing. And she used to always, you know, leave a little bit of change for me to go and play pool and get a little drink and a little snack and, you know, whatever, so I could just chill out till everyone got home, kind of thing. And there was some guys, I was in there playing pool one evening, and there were some guys that literally they were playing pool just before me, before I got into the shop, if you see what I mean, and they ended up having a disagreement over something, over something, and then one of them had said to the other one, "Oh, you just stolen like $1 off of me, it was $1, like, you know, accusing him of stealing $1 off of him." And it ended up escalating to the point that they both ended up, believe it or not, mate, gonna sound crazy, but ended up scuffling and fighting and whatever else, you know what I mean, having a bit of a, you know, scuffle. And it got to the point where one of them, you know, after they finished scuffling the fight or whatever, one of them went home and got a bloody machete. You know what I mean? And come back, you know what I mean? And
it's all over £1.
And over $1.
Yeah,
over $1, yeah. And here I am, like 10 years old, playing bloody pool, watching all of this unfold in front of me. You know what I mean? You know, one of them's got a sword, a machete, and the other one's got some bottles. There's some big stones. You know what I mean? Throwing the bloody bottles at him and the stones at him, and he's charging towards him with the bloody machete. And oh my goodness, it was.
It does cause a lot of nastiness, doesn't it, in this world? Really, money.
Well, I just couldn't believe it. I remember being young and thinking to myself, are they going to really kill each other over $1? You know, they're really going to. You know, they're really going to go to, you know, to the point of no return over $1. You know what I mean? I remember being young thinking this, like, this is crazy. Like, I soon left, obviously, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it started to get to a point where I was young and I thought, no, I'm out of here. Like, you know, I might end up getting hit by accident. You know what I mean? So I thought, I'm out of here. I'm too young to be, you know what I mean? You know.
Money's turned it into a nasty kind of world, but in a funny way, you know.
Yeah.
I know there's good points about money too, do you know what I mean? You know, it's just like everything, I think there's good and bad and everything.
Pros and cons, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, like for instance, there's gambling, you know, I mean, I used to gamble, but I used to enjoy gambling, to be honest. You know, you've got to be sensible about gambling, I think, you know, not spend every, you know, every last penny. So, I mean, you've just got to be sensible.
Yeah.
And you've got to learn how to gamble as well, you know, if you're, you know, because I studied cards before I started gambling, if you sort of mean, you know. I used to play blackjack a lot.
Okay.
Didn't play roulette, because that's kind of more of a luck game. But, you know, some people get themselves into awful trouble gambling, you know, they might have a family, they might have children, they lose all their money, and they fall out because of it.
I used to see it happen a lot, mate. I used to see it happen a lot, especially, like I said, again, growing up in the Caribbean. From the street corners, from people gambling on the street corners, to the hotel that I used to work at. The amount of people that I used to see lose their money, come out the casino. Sometimes I'd be at work, on my break in the afternoon, just stood outside having a cigarette, because you could sit, you know, as long as you weren't on the premises kind of thing, if you see what I mean, you could just stand outside the gate kind of thing and have a quick fag and go back into work. And I'll be stood there, and sometimes people will be coming out the casino crying and shit, like, you know, people of all walks of, you know, from, you know, young, old, you name it, you know, people coming out, you know, swearing and cussing and crying and talking about
angry.
Angry. They've lost their
with themselves,
whole paycheck,
really, aren't they? Angry with themselves more than anything. Why did they do that? Had that bit of fun, and now they haven't got no dinner.
The thing is that a lot of them were so addicted to it, right, mate, that I used to work 5 days a week, you know what I mean? So at this hotel every day, I worked there for a number of years, and I remember, like, I used to see the same cars, and it was almost like clockwork. I would know who would show up at what time. That's how bad it got. It got to the point where I'd see the same consistent people going in there every single day, spending hundreds of dollars every day. Sometimes they were lucky, you know. Sometimes they'd come out and, you know, big profit. But that wasn't, most of the time it was the opposite, you know, they would get profit and then gamble it away, and then end up losing everything, if you see what I mean, the profit, everything they, you know. So.
Then you got the other one, prostitution.
Yeah.
You know, that's been a problem for centuries now, where people are, you know, women, whatever, or men, whatever, they need to earn money, you know, and that's one way of doing it. Basically, soliciting. It's kind of an easy way of getting money, really, isn't it? A lot, you know, good money sometimes.
Well, apparently it's the oldest industry in the world. Apparently,
really,
they say prostitution is the oldest industry or occupation
ever.
Apparently, apparently so. Well, one of them anyway. If you see what I mean, you know, soliciting sex for money has always been, you know, that's something that's always been around. You know, like even today, you still got brothels and escorts and all these different things that still exist today. That still happens, but it's a lot more under the radar, if you see what I mean. A lot of it's online and shit, where people are going online and finding someone online, you know what I mean, and meeting up for, you know, casual paid sex. That does happen, you know what I mean. It happens a lot, but it's just.
Sure, I mean these days, you know, I mean it's like a couple of my girlfriends, you know, within the last 15 years, I've had a couple of girlfriends from the internet.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sort of like I'll go on these dating sites, you know, like Match.com.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah.
And I met somebody, do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking that's a new sort of like way of dating in a kind of way, you know. But yeah, money. You know, we all need it, don't we?
Yeah.
And you know, like some people do get more than others, and that's what I don't like. You know, I really don't like the unfairness of some people really so rich they don't really need any more money. You know.
Yeah.
But like, if you got a lot of money in your account, it gets interest.
Yeah, true.
A lot of interest. And you can actually live off your interest. So if you know, can you imagine sort of getting your life? So you've got enough money in your bank, and you're just living off your interest every day. Do you know what I mean? You know, and you've already bought your home.
Yeah.
You know, so you can just enjoy life, can't you? Do you know what I mean? You know, you can go to the beach every day if you want. You could be with your children every day or more. You know, I know they got to go to school, but you know,
financial freedom.
You just got more. You know, money does give you a lot of power, doesn't it? It is to me, it's kind of like a big magic wand.
Yeah, yeah. It is to a degree. Let's be honest. You know, it is.
Because money. You know, money. If you've got a lot of it, magically you can get everything done for you. You can get your windows clean. You can get your bum wiped out.
Yeah. In fact, but it's true. Yeah. You can. If you've got enough money, you pay someone to come and look after you. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether or not you need looking after, you know, they're still gonna, you know, come and do their job and get paid. You know.
Get your, you know, everything done for you basically. You know, your housework.
Yeah.
Come in a couple hours a day, you know, a week, whatever, to do your housework, and all your washing can be done, and you can live like angel. Yeah. You know, it gives you angel wings. I think. You know? I mean, if I come into a lot of money tomorrow, you know, because I do feel quite happy today with myself and a lot of things, you know. But I know I've got to go further with my happiness. You know, I'm hoping to get happier when I'm older. You know, they do say as you get older, you learn to be kinder in life. You know, but you do learn as you get older, don't you? You know, learn by your mistakes, and you do improve. Yeah. You know, so by the time you're sort of 100 years old, you should be, you know, pretty good. So I mean, and you know, understand quite a lot of things. But the problem is, by that age, you can't walk very far, probably. If you see what I mean. You know, but up there, I feel like most old people are happy. Yeah. Not all of them, though. You know, some people have not achieved anything. Yeah, true. Yeah. You know, and they're very angry with themselves. You know.
And the world, yeah.
You know, or the world, yeah. You know, they take it out on everyone too. You know, these old people. You know, quite dangerous. You know, I mean, it's when people get unhappy actually, they become dangerous. Yeah. To others. You know, and it is all to do with understanding happiness, really, you know, and understanding a lot of things in life. Because I think when I was a bit young, you know, when I was married 15 years ago, back then, didn't know what I did know today.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I've learned a heck of a lot about a lot of different things. Yeah. And I kind of understand life a lot more than I did 15 years ago. Let's put it that way. You know, and I feel like I'm a lot happier now. I understand it more than I did 15 years back, put it that way, and definitely a lot more happier than, you know, I mean, I was a happy child, you know, like I've said in previous episodes, but I wasn't happy entirely about being at school. Yeah. You know, I wanted to be free of that. But yeah, money. You know, I feel like we've all got a different view about money as well.
Of course, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Or a different understanding about it too.
Yeah, well, as we all know, money is an absolute necessity in the world in which we live in today. The society in which it's constructed is based around pretty much around the financial system. when you really analyse it, take the time to analyse it. That's just the way society's set up. You know, we all rely upon money, so you know, and the more you've got of it, the more financial freedom it does bring you. You know, the more it gives you freedom to choose what you want to do every single day without being obligated to anyone else or anything else. Apart from maybe your responsibilities if you've got kids or a wife or whatever else, you know, or people that you look after, you know. Outside of that, you know, you're just on your own time, your own clock, you know, your own, you know, you don't have to answer to anyone else. You can wake up when you want. You can, you know, it gives you a lot of freedom in a lot of ways. You can come and go as you please. You can travel and go wherever you want. You can go out whenever you please. If you know, tomorrow you fancy going, you know, taking all your family out for a meal, you know, nothing to worry about. You know, it's
you can almost buy any clothes you want to wear.
Yeah.
And so on, can't you? You know, get your hair cut when you want, you know, once a week even.
Yeah, exactly.
Really look after yourself and get a massage done as well at the same time.
Well, there's some people out there that do live like that. Honestly, mate, like you say, get a haircut and there's, you know, a nice clean shave every week. You know, go barbers, you know, once a week, and like you said, but after that they go, you know, I go gym and then go have a nice massage after that. Go sauna, have a nice massage after, and you know.
I mean,
really,
personally, if I come into a lot of money, I'd just like to travel to town and just sort of live there the weekend.
Yeah.
And then go to the next town. And then maybe sometimes come back to my home, my base. You
Yeah.
with me?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I'd like that. So maybe sort of Monday to Friday, stay in my home, and then go away for the weekend each week.
Every weekend.
Places.
Yeah. So that'd be 4 different places every month.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is nice not to have any worries in life, isn't it? You know, sort of having plenty of money. You know, having basically a dream bank account. That you know, you know, because I feel like I could smile today. I could be happy.
Yeah.
I could be happy with struggling not paying my bills really in a kind of way. I'm quite used to it, to be honest with you. You know, but you know, if I won the lottery tomorrow, wow, you know, I can help all the people around me too.
Yeah.
You know, and that would make me feel happier too. If you see what I mean.
Yeah. I was gonna say for me, like for probably the last 5 years, I've been in the best financial position I've probably been in my life. I think probably, to be honest, you know. I've had my ups and downs. Don't get me wrong. There's been times where I've been really up, you know what I mean. But things have happened, and you know, I had to end up utilising a lot of my savings for certain things, or whatever the case may be, and then you know, all the money that I had, that I accumulated and shit like that, ended up getting used for, you know, whatever reason. You know, life happens. We all know this, you know. But I was going to say, these last 5 years in particular, I've kind of been in the best financial position I've been in for a long time, in terms of like being stable, like stability wise, you know, and being able to, you know, saving and saving consistently and all these things. If you see what I mean, like the last 2 to 3 years, I've been saving consistently. So. You know, even if it's a small amount every month, even if it's
it always makes you feel happier, doesn't it?
Oh, of course, even if it's just a few hundred quid, or like 150 quid, 200 quid every month, like doing that, you know, every month, you know, for a couple of years, you know, it generates something, you know. And if you get, and then some months you might end up getting more money, if you see what I mean. You're able to put a little bit more aside occasionally than just you know the average, you know. So yeah, I must say. And I'm like I always say as well, like I'm not wealthy by any means, but I'd love to be a multi-millionaire because, you know, that's what I'm working towards.
I'd come around your house every day if you were.
Oh, it's okay, mate.
But
I was going to say, you wouldn't even need to, mate, because I'd look after people.
That's the thing, people do sort of like hang around people that are rich, don't they? Some people.
Well, I was going to say that wouldn't be the case in my case, mate. Literally, the people that are around me, that my family and the people that I love, people that are close to me, I look after everyone anyway. Like no one would have to be calling me saying, you know, I need this, or you know, whatever. Like people would already be sorted out. If I was like multi-millionaire, people would be, you know, I bless people for sure, you know. So.
See, I'm somebody that doesn't like asking for money.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I'm the same.
I don't really like doing all that trick or treat stuff, but you know, like little either, you know. I mean, the funny thing is, when you're a child, really, not really in the money world, really, are you? When you're young. You know, you get pocket money.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. You know?
Because you're not able to understand the value of money, because all the money you get when you're young is pretty much like handed to you.
Yeah.
So because you haven't earned it yourself, if you see what I mean, if you haven't done anything to earn it, because like even with kids, even sometimes my son at home, he'll say to me, "Oh, can I do some jobs around the house to earn some money?" And I say, okay, fine. That's you're more, you know, if you want to earn some pocket money, that's fine by me. So occasionally he'll come to me and say, oh Dad, can I do this or can I do that, you know, just to earn it, you know, £5-10, just for, you know, spending half an hour doing something around the house or whatever. And I said, fine, you know, I'm quite happy to do that, like. And then he understands it kind of almost,
you've got to work for it.
that you've got to work for it, yeah. It kind of
it's not going to come for nothing.
No, it kind of instills in him from a young age that he has to, you know, like you said, you've got to work for it, you know, in order to, you know, it gives it value, gives it more value anyway than just handing it over. And naturally, as parents, that's something you do anyway, because you know, you want to look after your kids. You want your kids to have a good time, and if they want to go out somewhere and they need money, you want to be able to give it to them, and you know, say, oh, here you go, here's £100. You know, go out, have a nice time, have a nice meal, have, you know, whatever. You know, you're still young, you're still at home, you're not earning anything, so here you are. But at the same time, there should be that sense of instilling that value that money is, you know, is you know, doesn't grow on trees, as they say.
Right, it's absolutely no good whatsoever spoiling your children.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not love at all. Really, is it? It's really sort of like, I don't know, just giving them so much that you don't matter anymore. Sort of thing.
Yeah. They just love you for your money. That does happen for some people, actually, mate. You know. But I think, yeah, it's just about, I think money really does enhance who you are as a person. You know, so if you're the type of person that's an honest, caring, kind person and will look after people and bless people and help people because you're in a very good place financially and you know that you can afford to do it, and you know you'll never kind of run out of money. Really, the likelihood of being able to run out of money is very low, and all these things, you know. It's yeah. But then, you know, if you're the type of person who's really not so much of a nice person or got lots of addictions and everything else, like you were talking about briefly earlier, with the drinking and whatever else, like, I even know, like, there was a story a few years ago that I actually read in the paper, actually, I don't know, about 3-4 years ago, something like that, I think, roughly. And it was a story of this multi-millionaire guy who was, I think he was a baron, actually. I think he actually had, like, some kind of, like, official title. He was a baron or something like that. Anyway, he was a multi-millionaire, him and his wife multi-millionaires, and they were living in a mansion for a long time that, you know, they were heroin addicts, basically. They both somehow started using heroin and became heroin addicts, both of them. And apparently for a number of years they were living in this mansion in a very, very poor conditions, if you see what I mean, not looking after themselves, just completely addicted to heroin and, you know, in a really bad place, basically, even though they were multi-millionaires and living in this bloody mansion. So yeah. And there was no one was, you know, they didn't have any children, whatever, so there was no one around them that really knew to, you know, the full extent of what was really going on. They would see both of them occasionally when they would pop out to go to the shops or pop out to get their fix or whatever, but people didn't really realise what was going on. But the reason that I'm mentioning this story is because this guy was a multi-millionaire, him and his wife, they're heroin addicts. She ended up dying. She overdoses one day. Yeah, they've been doing heroin for a number of years. She ended up overdosing one day. He was so out of it as well, you know what I mean, you know, so out of it on the heroin, that he basically covered her body over and put her in another room. And she stayed there for months, his wife. He literally put a carpet over her, dragged her into the other room and put a carpet over her, and continued doing heroin for a number of months until eventually someone realised that something wasn't right. There was I don't know if it was a smell, the stench of her body, but someone reported something not right, and they went round there and they found her, you know what I mean? In London. Oh. This was in London, mate. In London. Yeah.
So there's lots of weird people out there, isn't there?
So that's what I'm saying. These people are multi-millionaires with an official title. Like they were, I think he was a baron or something like that. He was a very, you know, had a very prestigious title. Yeah, his wife was a woman of, you know, once upon a time was a very high value woman. You know what I mean? But somehow they got into, you know, the drugs, you know, and the money just enhanced that because they could afford to buy as much as they, you know, as much as they could possibly do.
And so money can be dangerous to the wrong person.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's how she ended up overdosing, because they had loads of money, they could just go out and buy it whenever they felt like it, you know, and that she ended up obviously having either she did too much or had a bad batch or something, and that was, you know, that was any of that, you know, that was that.
I mean, with my jobs in the past, you know, I mean, I used to work for P&O.
Yeah.
and I used to work on the big ships and things like that.
Yeah.
I used to live work on the Canberra most of all, and that one's the nicest boat. But you know, some of them were really quite posh boats. And sometimes not all the time, but sometimes I went out with the voyages. You know, working with basically the passengers as well. And a lot of them are quite wealthy, obviously. Do you know what I mean? To afford trips like that. Do you know what I mean? But you know, I'm just sort of like, what I'm trying to say is, you know, in my background, in my history, you know, I've just met so many people. Because I'm quite old now, do you know what I mean? And even when because I have shared the story before, you know, my wife divorced me, and I was homeless for a little while, and then I did this job, this removal, and then I met a millionaire.
Yeah.
You know, he was really rich, you know, and he had his own boat in Canary Wharf there, you know, and he was made of money. And not so much him, his wife. Yeah?
Yeah.
His name was Alec Rick.
Yeah,
Rich,
so,
sorry.
yeah.
Alec Rich, his name was.
So
his surname was Rich.
So his name was appropriate.
Yeah. You know, and there I was living on this absolutely beautiful boat in Canary Wharf, you know.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, I felt like almost like I had nothing, you know, because I just lost everything. You know, for one, you know, I lost my children, you know, whatever. I've not seen them for a while.
Yeah.
But here I was, sort of living in, you know,
a millionaire, living on a millionaire's boat. Yeah.
Not just that. There, you know, there are other boats. Not all of them, you know, but a lot of other boats living, you know, nearby. Also with millionaires, you know, and they all wanted to kind of like get to know me because I was on that marina. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I, you know, they looked at me. The funny thing is, when you look at someone for the first time, can you tell really by looking at someone how much money they've got?
No.
I mean, you know, you can sometimes, you know, like if you're seeing them sleeping on the
sleeping rough, yeah.
But it don't necessarily mean they ain't got no money in it. Do you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? You know. So it is kind of a bit. You know, you just don't know how rich a person is.
True.
You know, it's kind of invisible, isn't it? Money. Today it is, if you ask me. You know, especially because it's gone on. You know, online now in the digital world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I just feel like, you know, not just Alec Rick living amongst those millionaires, then I come back after that, and then I was doing removals, you know, and I met a lot of different people, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them were really rich people, like Lady Sarah.
Oh, okay.
You know, and she owned quite a lot of houses, you know, and she was very, very rich, you know. But, you know, I just feel like I've met a lot of people, and, you know, a lot of rich people, and they're just as dotty as everyone else, really. Yeah. Some of them, you know, some of them are hoarders, and some of them they ain't got a clue, really, you know, about the, you know, psychology or anything or philosophy.
Yeah.
And they spend their money wildly.